Guys, today I'm going to show you how to get your baby on your back in a carry that is good for both leg straighteners and leaners without actually having to make a seat on your back. You're going to make the seat on your front, you're going to scoot the baby, and then the baby will be secure on your back. Start off by saying I'm not a baby wearing educator. I'm not certified in any way. I'm just a mom, a plus size mom, who between getting old and having less flexibility and carrying some extra weight, I have a very hard time reaching the way I need to reach to get a good seat on my back. I have a lot of experience wearing babies. I've been wearing 3 kids now. So take my advice for what it's worth. Always be sure that you feel your baby is secure and consult a local baby wearing educator if you have any concerns. I am going to do this with a size 6. You will see I will have plenty of extra wrap left over. I could easily do this with a 5. I would imagine smaller people could do it with a 4. What we're going to do is we're going to start with what is called the inside out coolest tip cross carry. I'm going to start over my shoulder and I'm going to leave a very, very tiny bit of tail here because when we scoot, what's going to happen is this piece is going to come forward and I don't need this tail to be this long. So start with a small piece over your shoulder. Either shoulder is fine. I'm just working with what I'm the most comfortable with. Take your wrap it around your tummy, go around your back. Now when you come around to this side, you're going to come up through the path you just did. Long wrap here. And you are going to tie a slip knot. Now, if you were just doing the coolest tip cross carry, you would probably do a slip knot at about corsage level for comfort. But once we start sliding, this knot's going to move around back. So you don't have to do your knot up higher. I just find it's easier once I start sliding if my knot's up a little bit higher. So you can do a slip knot. Slip knots have never been hard for me to do, so I'm not the greatest person at slip knot tutorials, but you can certainly find plenty of them on the internet. So I do a slip knot up high. And at this point, you should have very, very uneven tails. Now, what we have here, this is the inside out coolest tip cross carry. This is a great carry by itself. It's poppable, so you could tie it at home and pop your baby in while you're out. Obviously, if you were just doing the coolest tip cross carry, you would not want your tails to end up this lopsided. But it is a great poppable carry if you want to do it this way. The thing to remember about this carry is it's just a cross carry. So what you have is you have 2 X passes. And I love cross carries on the front, but cross carries are not good for leaners because what happens when you have X passes, if your baby leans his weight backward in the middle, your X passes are going to flatten and your baby can lean all the way backward, potentially upside down and fall out. So when your baby's on your front, that's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal, but your hands are here and your baby's not going to go too far without you realizing it or without you being able to catch him. What's going to happen with this cross carry when we move it around to our back is you then just have 2 X passes on your back. And there are some back carries that are meant to be just cross passes, and that's fine. It's not my preference because I don't feel like I have the agility, the speed to catch my baby securely if he decides to lean backwards. So my personal preference is to not do cross carries on the back, and certainly if you're going to just do a cross carry, certainly only do it with a baby who's not a chronic leaner. So at this point I have my cross carry ready and I'm going to get my baby. Hi. Hi, come here. Hi. Can you say hi? This is my youngest guy. He is 8.5 months old and he likes to keep up with his older brother, so he's all over the place, certainly sitting unassisted at this point, actually climbing, crawling, and getting ready to walk. So what you're going to do, you've got your cross passes, you're going to put one leg through each cross pass. And you're going to find your pass that's on the inside and you're going to spread it from knee to knee, making sure to cover your baby's butt. This is the part where you don't want to be too haphazard with your wrapping. This is where you're actually making the seat. Once you scoot your baby around to the back, whatever seat your baby has here is the seat your baby's gonna keep. So I actually like to go over the shoulder on this as well. Again, because he's just in those X passes, if he were to throw himself backward, having this wrap up around his shoulder helps prevent those X passes from splitting in the middle. Take your outside pass. You also want to make sure it goes knee to knee. There's my tummy showing. I apologize for that. And you want to get him pretty tight. You can see he's in a good in position here. His hiney is definitely down lower than his knees. You don't want to get it too tight because now we're getting ready to scoot. And when you scoot, your clothes are going to get all twisted if you're too tight. So we're going to start our scooting process. He is completely happy. I don't know if this is going to work with this cardboard in his mouth. Can I have this paper, honey? Can mommy have that? How about you take a bippy? You want your bippy instead? Yeah. All right. So now we just start the scoot. Easy, easy, easy. Nice and slow. Once you get your baby to where he's under your arm, you're just going to take your arm and do like this. Now keep in mind, my baby is completely secure. He's in those two X passes. His legs are not going anywhere. He cannot possibly pop the seat. And there you have it. He is on my back now. This is where having that knot up higher is going to come in handy because this knot is not on my back at this point. You're going to untie this knot. You are going to take this pass over your shoulder, and what you have right now is the first two passes of an Ellevill Jordan's back carry, and you have not had to do any wrapping on your back. Your baby is completely secure in two cross passes that he cannot possibly straighten his legs in. Now, if you know for sure your baby is not a leaner, you could take these back at this point and tie under the bum. You could take this one under your arm and tie off across your chest like this for a one shoulder carry. But I do not know for sure that my baby is not a leaner. In fact, he's 8 months old and likes to lean and see everything his brothers are doing. So I am much, much more comfortable having a cross pass on my back. And that's where you're going to take your long tail. I didn't mention strand by strand tightening. He's already incredibly tight, as is my waist pass. But at this point, you would want to strand by strand tighten if you felt any slack anywhere in your wrap. I do not have any. He is very secure. He's nice and high. So I'm going to take my shorter tail, pin it between my knees. I'm going to take this pass that's going over my shoulder. I'm going to take my top rail. I'm going to reach back. This is the hardest part for me and my unflexible arms. I'm going to reach out behind me, pull this pass over his back, tighten it up. So now what we have is we have the wrap pass that's covering up those X's so he cannot possibly throw himself backwards at this point. And from here, you could tie off at the shoulder. You can see I'm in a size 6, and as I mentioned, not a small person. So if you wanted to tie at the shoulder, you could do this with a much shorter wrap. I don't like tying at the shoulder. Even though my shoulders are wide, they kind of slope downward. So I always feel like my shoulder straps are going to slide off. So I twist into a candy cane chest belt. Pull through. Working with a lot of wrap here. Here we go. Tie off. And what we have here is an Ellevill Jordan's back carry with a candy cane chest belt. And I did not have to get my baby in a seat on my back. He's in a great in position. He's up nice and high. He can see over my shoulder. I'm out of breath. But the last thing I like to do, because I don't find waist belts very flattering on myself, is I take my waist belt and I pull it up just a little bit. I end up with a chest pass. It looks like I'm in a double hammock. My baby cannot get out, and we are good to go. So I hope this was helpful for someone. Thanks for watching. Hi guys, I'm back. One thing I forgot to show that my baby wearing educator friends would have been very disappointed with is once you have your baby in the Ellevill Jordan's back carry, how do you safely get your baby off? Especially if you are out and you don't have a couch to sit on or a bed to lean on. So again, the beauty of the baby being in those cross passes that you started with, you're gonna slide him off in those cross passes the same way you slid him on, which makes this an incredibly safe carry to get out of as well. So I'm undoing my candy cane chest belt. I'm gonna take this pass that I held in between my knees when I was making my wrap pass. I'm simply going to undo the wrap pass I did. Now baby is just in those X passes again. I'm in the exact same carry I started with when I got him on my back. Just gonna put my hand under baby's bum. I'm gonna loosen everything up a little bit. I'm gonna slide this chest pass back down to my waist. And then we are in a very scoochable position to scooch baby back around. Up and over. And baby is still in the exact same in position where he was when we started with the coolest tip carry. What do you think? Is that pretty cool, buddy? Yeah. And now he can get down and go crawl around and chase his brothers.